Let's go to Peter Mathews. He's a professor of political science at Cypress College in California, and he joins us live now. Peter, the U.S. wants Whanzou extradited from neighboring Canada, and in China, Canada is being called America's trusty sidekick. How much of this is it actually about punishing her for potential violations of sanctions, and how much of this plays into that nasty trade war with China?
With China, President Trump's administration is trying to send them a message that the United States is in control of this, and it seems to be quite one-sided. That, in other words, he wants to have extradition of this the woman who's the CFO, I believe, CEO of this company, which her father founded. It's the largest telecommunications company in the world, equipment company and services company. It's really amazing that it's quite large, and it's dominant, and it's a source of pride for China, just as Microsoft and Apple are a source of pride for the United States. I think the Trump administration is trying to send a message, unfortunately, to China in this trade war to show who has the upper hand. And the whole thing can end up in a disaster because it'll backfire. And in the end, the trade war will not be resolved if this keeps going. And that can wreck the whole world economy, as I've said before. It could bring on a worldwide recession, not just a U.S. and China recession.
Well, China has threatened Canada in all of this. So what are the potential consequences that Canada could suffer, kind of getting caught in the crossfire between these two large economies?
Well, China certainly has made very firm statements to Canada to release her and or face the consequences. In fact, China's attitude toward Canada was even harder or harsher than its attitude with the United States on this issue. It's also a matter of national pride for China that one of its leading citizens could be arrested this way with no, the complaint they made is there was no evidence provided by the United States that this woman had done this, and yet she was ignominiously arrested in the airport while changing airplanes. It was quite unusual to treat someone like this in Canada on behalf of the United States. So it's a major problem for Canada now. It's caught in the middle, and I believe that cool head should prevail, and the United States and President Trump's administration should calm down and negotiate this 90-day period, a much more balanced trade deal with China that would work out, but also make sure that he understands that China has to save face. It's an Eastern culture, and you cannot go out and bully or insult or appear to insult countries that have that type of culture of saving face and being graceful about negotiations. I think that President Trump should understand that.
Peter, a day ago, America's chief negotiator in the 90-day tariff truce said if there was no agreement with China by the 1st of March, then the agreement will be rescinded. What does the U.S. want from China in all of this?
I think the U.S. is trying to appear that it can dictate terms, and that President Trump ran on an America first foreign policy, America first. And this is, in my view, rather dangerous, because when you say America first, it means other countries have to be last, or have to be second, or have to be in third place. And this is not a good way to look at the world, in the interdependent world that we have, where the globalization is a fact. We just have to make globalization work for everyone, especially the working class and the middle class, and not just the rich. To do that, countries have to cooperate. And China has led the world in providing a type of model for development, which I call industrial policy, where the Chinese government promotes the public interest by supporting Chinese businesses overseas to export. And the Chinese government puts a lot of money into building infrastructure throughout the world, in Africa, in this Central Asia, in Turkey, I believe. They were building a high-speed rail there, helping build it there. And China's made loans to countries to do this. So this kind of a industrial policy would work much better if the United States would also adopt some of that to support corporations in the public interest. U.S. has a much different view that it's United States first, according to Trump, and then everyone has to basically follow the American lead. That's not a very good attitude overall to create an interdependent, peaceful world that would actually look at the most important issue, which is warming and climate change, which can be a boon to building new infrastructure, new jobs, new products. And China has excelled in, for example, in the industry of solar panels. We should continue doing that and work on high-speed rail like China has done. The U.S. can produce electric cars here. Like
Peter Mathews, thank you so much. Unfortunately, we have to leave it there to pivot to some other news. Thanks for being with us, Peter.